Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
In previous class, we have discussed some basic concepts of C. We have discussed different conditional statements, that is if else, else if, ladder, nested if, etc. Today we will discuss some more concepts related to C language. First we will discuss about the loops in C language. There are three types of loops. Loops are used to execute a block of code or a part of program of the program. So suppose if the part of the program that will be executing many times, during that time we can just write that inside the loop. There are three types of loops in C language, that is do while loop and for loop. In that we have discussed two loops, right? Do while loop and while loop. Okay, when we can go for the do loop again, when we can use the while loop? Any idea?
Ma'am, while loop while entering
Yes.
While loop is
in the
Yeah.
entry.
Anyone? Yeah.
executed 0 or more times.
While loop,
Hello.
we don't know the number of times to be executed.
Okay.
Do while loop is at least once we need.
Okay. Suppose if you want to execute the code at least once, then you have to use the do while loop. Suppose if you don't know the number of iterations, how many times that particular part of the code is going to execute, at that time you have to use the while loop. Okay. Here do while loop syntax do, then write the source code, close the flower bracket, then you have to write the condition with semicolon. A while loop, while condition, then write the body of the loop, right? Okay. Here we have some difference in while loop and do while loop. While loop, it is entry condition, and do while loop, that is the exit control. Now, second difference, condition is tested before start of the loop in while loop. Condition is tested after the loop body. In while loop, minimum number of times loop body is executed is 0. That is, if the condition is false, loop body is not executed. In do while loop, minimum number of times loop body is executed is once. That is, even if the condition is false, loop body is executed at least once. Here, also called entry control or pre-test loop, again in do while loop, also called as exit control or post-test loop. And we can write some examples related to the while loop or examples related to the do while loop. Correct? Next, we will discuss about the for loop. See, when we can use the for loop? Any idea? When we can use the for loop?
When we know exactly how many iterations of the loop is required.
Yes. Okay. So if you have the exact number of iterations, if you know the exact number of iterations, then you can go for the for loop. See here, syntax of the for loop: for, then initialization. Inside the bracket, we have the initialization. Then second term, that is the condition. Again, last term, that is the increment or decrement operations. Here, first we have to initialize the variable. First initialization of the variable is done. Then condition is evaluated. It will check whether the condition is true or false. Suppose if the condition is true, it will execute the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, then it will perform the next operation, that may be the increment operation or that may be the decrement operation. Understood, right? First initialization, then check the condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, it may perform the increment or decrement operation based on this expression. After that, again it will check the condition, then it will execute the body of the loop. then perform the increment operation, again check the condition, execute the body of the loop. Suppose if the condition is false, it will just come out of that particular loop. Correct? Okay, now we have one example here, C program. Can you tell me, can you trace this program? What is the use of or what is the output of this particular program? Trace this program and tell me what is the output of this program. I will give n value as 3. Okay. Yes. What is the purpose of this program? Yes, you can hear my voice, right? Trace this.
Ma'am, it will give sum as 6 and
Okay.
average as 2.
Okay. In this program, it will calculate the sum of n numbers and finally it will calculate the average of n numbers, right? Okay, for
Yes.
that, here is
2.000, no ma'am.
which one?
Output
Yeah,
in
output is
float.
that is in float. Some value that is in integer. Again, float output that is average value that is the float variable. You get 0.0. 000. Again, that depends. Sometimes you can display the after decimal point. You can display all 6 digits, or you can display only 1 digit or 2 digit, etc. Okay. Now here, first we have to declare the variables for n, that is total number of iterations, or then you have to declare the sum. Okay, this particular variable is used to store the sum value. I, that is for the iteration purpose, and float average ABG, that is used to store the average value of that sum. Okay, first we have to read the number using the scanf function. Initialize sum value equal to 0 or average value equal to 0. You can initialize that during the declaration or later part of the code also you can initialize that variable. Then write the for loop. First iteration, that is 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, sum equal to sum plus I, that is it will just increment, add all the natural numbers 1 to n. We then calculate the average value. What is the use of this float sum divided by n? What is this? Any idea?
To
Float
store
of,
the value.
what is use of float of sum? Average equal to float of
To
sum divided.
convert into
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
Because there is float is
Yeah.
average is in the float while
Okay.
initializing.
Okay. Because
Sum by number may be in floating point integer. So
okay.
it we can convert it to floating point integer.
Yeah, correct. Okay, this we can call as the type conversion, explicit type conversion, right? Okay, now here sum, we have declared the sum as integer. So sum that is in integer form. Okay, during the evaluation of this particular expression, you may get the floating point number, floating point value, and that floating point data value we have to store in the floating point variable average. So here we have to perform the type conversion, explicit type conversion. Inside the bracket, we have to write the data type. For which type you want to convert that variable, data of that variable, that we have to enter. Any doubt in this program? Understood, right? What is do loop? Again, what is the while loop? Again, what is the for loop? Any doubt related to
No.
this?
No ma'am.
Yeah, this is one of the important concepts you should know while studying the data structure about the loops. Okay, next we'll discuss about the functions. A function is a group of statements that together perform a particular task. A block of code or group of statements that will perform one particular task that we can write using the function, right? Okay, now again, in functions we have two types of functions. One is the built-in functions or library functions, and second one is the user-defined functions. Now what is built-in functions? Built-in function or library functions which is provided by the C compiler. Already some functions, definition of some functions that is defined in the header file or that is present in C compiler, we can just use that functions that type of functions we can call as the built-in functions or library functions. Okay, for example, printf and scanf, these two functions are defined under the header file stdio.h. We are using that functions, we are just passing the parameter for this. For the printf, we are passing the parameter, or for scanf, that is used to read the data from the keyboard. For that also, we are passing the parameters. We are not writing the code for the printf and scanf. We are just using that functions that we can call as the built-in function or library function. The second one is the user-defined functions. Again, this user-defined function that is written by the user. We have to write the function definition for this function that we can call as the user-defined functions. Any doubt? Built-in function and user-defined function difference? Built-in function or inbuilt function already that is stored in some header files. We are just using that function. User-defined function means we are writing the code. Code is written by the user. Okay, now again, we can write the C program in two ways. One is without using the user-defined functions, or that we can call as unstructured programming. Again, second one is using the user-defined functions or structured programming. That means in C language, we can write the program, we can write the source code in two ways. One is the unstructured programming. Again, second one is the structured programming. Okay, what is the difference between this unstructured programming and structured programming? In unstructured programming, all the code we are inserting inside the main function. Okay, we are not writing any user-defined functions. All the codes we are writing inside the main functions. But in structured programming, we are just uh, we are just writing the part of the code or block of the code in separate place, and we are just storing that in separate place. Whenever required, we are just calling that we can call as the structured programming. All the code that is not present inside the main function is some part of the code that is defined separately, that may be stored in some other place. Any doubt what is structured and unstructured programming? Yes, any
ma'am.
doubt? Understood or not?
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Okay, unstructured means all the code we are writing inside the main function. Structured means we are not writing all the code inside the main function. Block of the code we are writing separately in separate functions, and we are just using that functions by making the function call. Okay, now what is the disadvantage of unstructured programming? First disadvantage, difficult to read and understand because that is very lengthy. All the code that is present inside the main function, so difficult to read and understand because of the lengthy. And second one is the difficult to debug. All the code that is present inside the main function, so debugging is or identifying the error is difficult. Difficult to test the program and difficult to modify the program. Okay, suppose if you want to modify the part of the code, okay, you have to modify that in the main function only, or in all the places you have to modify that particular code. Okay, now suppose if you are using the functions, you can just modify that code in only one place. Yes, any doubt?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, one example here, we are just adding two numbers. Okay, the two numbers A and B, and final result we are storing in the variable sum, and we are just displaying the value of that sum. Okay, A is 10, B equals to 20, and sum is 30. Okay, this is example for the unstructured programming. All the code we are writing inside the main function. Okay, now